Okay, so just a little intro. I work as a freelance illustrator, printmaker, and I guess kind of freelance educator. I run workshops with young people and adults, usually doing printmaking and that kind of stuff. So this exhibition is called Neighbourhood Tastes. And the whole idea was that we kind of did research in the community about favorite recipes that people had, and I kind of made work based on that. So each has kind of got a title, someone's name on it. So yeah, it's quite nice because it's actual people living and working in the community that contributed these recipes. So that's one. This is the second. I'll leave them on screen for a few seconds so you can have a look properly. But all of these are online on the website. We've got a good English breakfast. And a fish curry. So some of these were like quite well-known recipes, but I think this one in particular was actually a lady that came to one of the workshops. This was just her own kind of recipe she made as comfort food for her family, which I thought was really nice. Some sweet jacket potatoes. And then nice. I think this is also known as Turkish pizza. I think it's the alternative name. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, this is kind of how it started. From the workshop, we invited people to write down recipes. I had like little worksheets with fruit and veg and kind of ingredients people could cut up and add. So yeah, this is kind of what I left the workshop with before I made those pieces of work. And then usually I start my work in my sketchbook. So these are just like really kind of rough drawings once we worked out what recipes we were gonna have as part of the exhibition. I've just got some examples of like my other commercial work that I've made for clients or just for myself. So this was one I did for the Association of Illustrators members exhibition last year. The theme was Inspired to Innovate. And this is a mixture of printmaking, so screen print and digital work. Some work I did for the Highline Park in New York, which I recommend going to if you ever get a chance to visit. It's amazing. They built a park on a disused kind of railway track, and it's elevated, so you can walk down lots of the city and see through all these amazing gaps. So I drew about 25 different plants for them. This is a little editorial piece for the Barbican. It was for a long read article about the British jazz scene. And this is for Barbican again, about an article about ambient music. I had a lot of fun with these. Again, lots of bright colors. I love using color. Another kind of food-related commission, this one, it was for a company called Diaspora Co., who work with direct trade spices. So they're based in India and they pay the farmers fair wage. They have healthcare. They're still looking after their farmers now during this whole pandemic kind of situation as well. So this was a bag design for them. And some more little foodie bits for their website. I really enjoy drawing food. It does make you incredibly hungry, but it's very satisfying. And along with my commercial work, I also self-publish zines and comics and that kind of thing. So this is an example of one of my mini comics. It's called Local Language, which translates to local English. And I made this based on my experiences of traveling alone in India for the first time. So I have Indian heritage. My mum was born there. And I've been twice in my entire life, but I went last year for the first time on my own without any family, and I had a very introspective experience. Yeah, this is a little comic about being there. Another page from that. Again, some more comics. This was for there's a challenge every year in October called Inktober, where you are given a prompt for every day of the month of October, and you basically make a drawing out of ink. But I decided to be really mean to myself and write something every day as well. These are a few of those. And the next few slides, I've just got some examples of my sketchbooks and I guess how I like to document information and collect ideas and stuff, that I use them a lot when I'm traveling, but also just when I'm working through ideas. So this is from a book I took to Arizona quite a few years ago. My dad was working out there for long periods of time a while ago, so that's some drawings from there. This is a sketchbook I took to Kathmandu last year. I was there for a project, which I'll talk about in a bit. A sketchbook from India from that trip that inspired my comic. Again, more food, you can see the recurring theme. And that leads me on to kind of, I guess, the last strand of my practice, which is community arts. So I was invited out to Kathmandu last year by British Council to work on a project called Creating Heroine. And it was myself and 15 other artists from South Asia and the South Asian diaspora, and we made work about being women for a week. And after that project, British Council invited us to apply for funding to continue our work. I collaborated with 2 other artists on Milka Chai, which means tea together in Hindi. And we wanted to create a space where people could come and talk to each other and drink tea and kind of make friendships with people they wouldn't usually make friendships with, because that's what we got a lot out of the experience of being with each other in Kathmandu at that time. So I got to do lots of really fun illustrations for that. And we actually ran a pop-up in Kathmandu in November. We took over a local like chai stop, I guess, in the town centre. You can see auntie and uncle in the middle there, looked after us very well. And every afternoon we'd set up with a few of our friends that were out with us initially in Kathmandu, artists, and we'd exhibit their work and talk about different issues that affect South Asian women. And yeah, we had a really, really good time there. So I'm just going to go through a couple of images. These are 2 of the artists, Rashida Taneja and Shazal Manik, who made work about the Kashmir occupation going on at the moment. So you can see we literally took over the cafe, so their work's stuck up inside. This is what the outside looked like. We also had with us Aki Tami, who runs Sister Library in India, which is the first feminist zine library in India. So on that blue board, she's hung lots of her zines out there for people to read. We were doing like live screen printing. Good fun. And this is kind of what the cafe looked like every afternoon. So we set up, we had a projector that we were projecting onto a sheet. We had, you know, artists talking. And it was a tiny, tiny space, but every night it was packed out with people listening to all our friends talk about their work, which was amazing. And we ran one here in London in January. We do have plans to run one in the future. They kind of have all been put on hold at the moment. But yeah, we're looking to continue to run it as a non-for-profit and invite people to come and hang out and drink chai and yeah, look at some art and make friends with each other. So this is at Rabbits Road Press in East London. That's before anyone came. And this was it afterwards. It was completely full. I think it was the free try was a good draw, definitely. But we had lots of work that we exhibited initially in Kathmandu, exhibited at the back. You can see on the boards there. Yeah, it was just a really nice, inviting space for everyone to come and talk about whatever they wanted to. There was people coming in on their own and just sitting next to people they didn't know and chatting, and that was the whole idea behind this project. And these are some beautiful puppets that our friend made. One of the 2 other artists I collaborated on the project, she made a beautiful stop motion animation. And these are the 2 little puppets. And that's it, that's me done.